Stanley, thanks for your time today at Inver Park. Would you tell us a wee bit maybe about yourself and your playing career?
Yes, I will indeed. Well, I started off with Governor School. Then, after Governor School, I was getting on. Then, after that, 16, 17, I went to Sirocco Works. And I had 3 cups for Sirocco Works, the Clarence Cup, the Border Regiment Cup, and the Amateur League Cup, all in the one season with Sirocco. Then, after Sirocco, I played at St. Patrick in the Mid-Ulster League. Then, after that, this man came and asked me would I come up to Celtic Park. And I says to my dad, I says, hey, what do you think should I? Well, he says, it's up to yourself, like, whether you go up or not. Elisha Scott was the manager then. And I just says, well, sure, I'll go up and give it a try. Well, I played and all for the second team. Well, half a dozen more matches then. You know, of course, Celtic dropped out of the league and Boxing Day in 48. But I played there for a while until I come down from training this night, and this man was sitting in the house waiting on me, was Mr. Ken Pritchard. And we called him, when I came down here, we called him Mr. Larne. He was all Larne, Ken Pritchard. And he knew everything about Larne and everything about nearly everything else. But anyhow, I had 3 good years at Larne, and I played with the one and only Sammy Hughes. And Sammy was, well, everybody would know Sammy Hughes in Larne, because when the ball came across, Sammy never missed it. Once he heard that it was in the net, it was in the net. And I enjoyed my time at Larne, and then coming up, and we were playing in the Ulster Cup. My first match for Larne was at Newry, and my last match was at Newry Town. And I wasn't playing that well at that time, and I was playing the quarter-final and the semi-final. I didn't get playing, and Larne beat Glenavon at the Oval 5-1 or 5-0, and Glenavon finished up with 7 men. 2 put off and 2 carried off. So Larne went on to beat Ballymena in the final that year, the Ulster Cup, 3-2 at Governor Park. So that was my career up and that. Well, of course, and in between times I was at Oxford for a trial, on the Manor Road in Oxford. I didn't do well there because I'd done all right actually in the trial, but when I come back, my parents didn't want me away because my brother was already away. He played at Airdrie. He still lives in Airdrie, and he's actually, believe it or not, older than me. But he played at Airdrie for 7 or 8 years. Yeah. And they didn't want me away too, so they decided not to let me go back. But I was wanted back at Oxford. I could have went. I could have went if I had been, you know, just.
And where did you move to then after Larne, after your 3 years here?
Well, after Larne, now where did I go after Larne? Oh yes, after Larne was very good. I went to Bangor. I played at Bangor for 2 years under Hayden Green, the manager Hayden Green at Bangor. A couple of years there, and then what I was saying there, Bangor. And then I went to Portadown, but I didn't. Portadown was all right, but I only got 2 matches at Portadown. So. See, the whole thing, I was small, and then although it was lively enough, suppose they moved you on, you see, you know. But I liked my best happy times was at Inver Park. Oh, definitely at Inver Park. I loved it here because we come down in the train and we played cards on the train and a sing-song and all. Dickie Horner was a great singer, and so was Sammy Doherty. A Larne team was and Jimmy Holmes, they were near all better. I was going to say better singers than they were football. But we very seldom got beat at Inver Park. Yeah. My team that I have down the day, very seldom did we get beat at Inver Park. Maybe 5 matches a season. Well,
look, tell us a little bit about yourself as a player. What position, what sort of player were you?
I played on the wing, I played outside left, and I was tricky, quick enough and tricky with the ball. Sometimes I maybe overcarried the ball, and I think that's what helped me that time at Newry, because I was playing, and my dad actually told me, my dad says, "Now, you need to get this ball over. Sammy Hughes is waiting on the ball. You're fiddling about too much," and they're starting to talk now. So you better hit the ball over. Once you beat your man, hit it over. Well, I usually would try to beat maybe too many men. But I was held my place at Larne, and I was there on the left wing for a good while. Jimmy Holmes was inside forward, and Dickie Horner. Dickie was a great player. Now, Dickie had a wee list. Dickie used to say, for flip's sake, Laffalee. For flip's sake, Laffalee didn't, of course. He said, for flip's sake, Laffalee, know if he'd done something wrong. Yeah. But Dickie was one of them players that was over the ball. When Dickie was on the ball, his body was over it, so it meant he didn't raise the ball. If he hit it, was along the ground, into the corner and that. More so than today, as players sometimes they are laying off the ball and they put it over the bar. And that was one of Dickie's great things. But the best thing of that was Sammy Hughes in the air. Oh, once the ball hit Sammy Hughes' head, it was in the net. It didn't matter where he was. He could have been down low. It was in the net. Because that's what my dad used to tell me. See, my dad went with me near all the matches. He says, "Me, get you that ball over. Your man's waiting to head it in. Once you get it over, he'll put it away."
And would you say that Sammy Hughes was the best player you'd play with at Larne?
Oh, Sammy was the best header of a ball in Northern Ireland. Never mind Larne. As a matter of fact, maybe all Ireland. There was no player could head a ball like Sammy Hughes. Sammy Hughes, he met the ball with a flick of head in all positions. He was an expert header. wasn't terribly great on the ground, but he was his thing was a head in the ball.
Obviously, Sammy was a legend at Glentoran and here as well. But is it hard to believe maybe he didn't carve out a career full time in England?
Well, that's another thing you'd wonder. Well, you see, a lot of those players in them days didn't. A lot of the players didn't make it in England. We had one player, Billy Simpson, went to school with me, and he made it at Ibrox. He played 10 years for Rangers, Billy Simpson. And then with another man, Tommy Dixon. Now, Tommy was the Duke of Windsor. Tommy played at Linfield. But Tommy didn't make it here. He was to go to Newcastle, but he didn't go. Well, you see, Tommy was late made up. Good footballer, a good brain and all. But he was just, he didn't get it among the big fellas across the water, you know. But there wasn't that many players went across the water in them tables. Bobby Brannan went. Now, Bobby was a good, Bobby played for the Stanley. Yeah. And Bobby went to Norwich. Played in the semi-final of the English Cup and they got beat by Luton Town. Beat Norwich. Well, Bobby Brannan there was a great player. But then down here at Larne, I also remember the great Bertie Fulton. There, Bertie, you see, Bertie was headmaster of McKenna Memorial School here. And I played at school for Grosvenor Public Elementary School. And we met McKenna Memorial in the final at Cliftonville, and we beat them 2-0 or 2. We just can't remember here 2-0 or 2-1. And the bold Bertie wouldn't present us with a cup. And our man was a bit of a scuffle now. And that was in 1943. And we beat McKenna Memorial in the Schools Cup final. I don't know why the school's still here, maybe not here now, but that's what it was, McKenna Memorial, you know.
And to take you back to your time at Belfast Celtic, you brought an old team photograph there. Maybe you could show us that.
Here now, that's the photo there.
Yeah.
That was at a reunion. Yeah. Now this here is myself here now.
Yes.
And then this is the great Jimmy Jones. Now Jimmy died. Jimmy played at Larne, by the way, for a short time. Now only a lot of weeks during his sort of late career. Yes. But Jimmy holds the record for the Irish League at 680 something goals. That will never be broke. I don't think I can't see it getting broke. So he was a great centre forward, something like Sammy Hughes we were talking about. Yeah. But Jimmy was a legend. Yeah. He was a legend at Lurgan, at Lurgan Glenavon, and also at Celtic Park. Yeah. And this is the Lord Mayor here. Yeah. I think Lord Mayor Sinn Féin, I think he is that man, but I'm not sure. Jerry Burrell played for Celtic too, and Jerry is a legend at St Mirren. Jerry can go away to St Mirren and go into the directors, but he's terribly well liked at St Mirren. Yeah. Jerry. And this is Mickey McGuigan. Mickey was a trainer of Belfast Celtic. Yeah. So, as I say, I left them because there was no way I was going to get into Celtic's team because Celtic was something else.
Yeah.
They were number one, you know.
Well, you told us that you would still watch a lot of Steel and Sons Cup finals in Dundalk. What do you find are the big differences between this era in the 50s and today?
Well, I think it's more or less a sort of way. You see, the day there was more natural players with natural ability. When we were playing, the man it sounds like one of our players to be is Ryan Giggs of Man United. They don't need to tell Ryan Giggs or Geordie Best or them players what to do with the ball. They know what to do with the ball. But nowadays, you see, I think the main problem today is too much money in the football today. And what I think is, as players, as good players get the money, but there's a whole lot of ordinary players, I would call them, getting big money, and there's nothing happening. That's what I think is the day. And then again, it's all sort of way organised. We're going forward and coming back. And then they've changed the two backs, 3 half backs and 5 forwards. They've changed that into a sort of another thing there. So, although I have to say it's good now, it's good, but it's a different sort of a game, different type of game.
Your love for the game obviously hasn't diminished. You still watch it as much as ever.
Oh, I watch it. Oh, I like Dundalk. I'm an ex-Dundalk player too, you see.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I played for Dundalk.
Yeah. Well, look,
what I didn't... well, I'm not raging, but I was just sorry about that I never was in... I didn't just happened to be there the right time with Larne Steel Cup period, because Larne has 7, 8 or 9 Steel Cups, and I never got any.
Well, look, you did bring us this photograph, and that's from 1950, so maybe you could point out...
1948, 49.
Yeah.
Now, this here is Sammy or no, but a minute now to get me right. This here is Geordie Craigie.
Yes.
Sid McElroy.
Uh-huh.
Billy Sims.
Yes.
Matt Redmond. Norman Carruth, Frankie Hughes, that's Sammy's brother, Frankie,
yeah.
Billy Bradford, Hughie Gurley, Dickie Horner, that's Dickie I was telling you about there, he was a great player, Dickie, Sammy Doherty, Jimmy Holmes and myself. They're all have passed away.
And
Mr. Larne and Billy Rice was secretary, and Big Jack was chairman of Larne, Jack McAllister. Well, and that is the Clements Little and the McElroy Cup. Now, the McElroy Cup, we beat Linfield Swifts 2-1 at Grosvenor Park on a Wednesday night. This one was better again because we beat Glentoran Seconds 1-0, and it was at the Oval. It was at the Oval.
Not too many would have fancied you going in.
No.
Where was this photograph taken? Can you remember?
I can't remember when. Is that not
maybe Sandy Bay, maybe down towards the harbour?
It's Larne, but I can't. It's not Inver Park, I can't remember where it was taken, tell you the truth.
Well, look, Stanley, obviously we're celebrating our 125th anniversary this year, and we've talked a lot about the football, but tell us maybe, as we round off, just your favourite thing about the club, about coming to Inver Park to play your football and the people, and what it was like in that era.
Oh, I loved. Once I came to Inver Park, I loved it. I liked the matches, and my dad used to come down, mate, with great fun on the train coming down. We all knew each other. Some of them would have shouted at me. Especially Sammy Doherty would have shouted, "Now, Stanley, no messing about, get that ball over." And then we went and had our tea at 5 o'clock after the matches in a wee cafe. And I have a funny feeling the cafe's still there near where the Legion Club is. Up this way a bit. It's a big place there, but up it was a wee cafe. And we always went there and got our tea after the match. But I definitely loved Inver Park, I would say.
Look, Stanley, we really appreciate your time, and you're part of the history of the club very much so, and we really appreciate it. So thanks for coming down today. Thank you.
Your name is Ian.